Hey gang, Hammersill here. Okay, so Rocket and I, who you will see there as Flagstaff 2016, we teamed up for a game. And I have not played Shinonome nearly as much as I used to. And the reason for that, of course, is the CP rework. Playing a Tier 6 destroyer that is often in Tier 8 matches facing Tier 8 CVs with an AA rating of 1 is often a very frustrating experience. So I have admittedly been studiously avoiding that experience most days. But today we decided we were going to play Tier 6. That put Rocket in his New Mexico, which I believe is one of his favorites, if not his favorite. I know he likes that. I know he likes Cleveland. And it was an excuse for me to play the Shinonome. I hadn't in a while. So of course we load in and I see on the enemy team a Lexington. So you can imagine my excitement about that. I also see a division of 3 Garitias, which I don't really care for that ship much. It's basically a Zara without torpedoes, and why would you play a Zara without torpedoes when you can just play the Zara? But if they stick together and they're on the side that I'm headed toward, they could probably, between the 3 of them, get rid of me in one 3-ship volley. So I'm aware of that. And I'm really hoping that this York and Leon are going to stay on this side. I'm a little bit concerned because, I headed this way because the other side already had the Atlanta and the Farragut. And I didn't want this side to be without spotting against the enemy Gaida and Fubuki. York and Leon are apparently thinking things over, but I'm going to go ahead and go on here. You can see I've got radio location, or radio position finding, for those who have been around a little bit longer and remember that it used to be called that, on my captain. Now, I think this is a great skill, and I actually use the same captain. This is my Shimakaze captain, and I use the captain on the Shimakaze, on the Asashio, on the Shinonome, on the Kamikaze, and occasionally, just for giggles, I'll put it in the little Tier 3 premium Japanese destroyer, and the Tachibana, which is it's fun. So anyhow, I find this captain to be very effective in pretty much any Japanese destroyer. You'll see I've got my AA turned off, and I am very much wanting to avoid getting spotted. So I just run away from where those enemy aircraft were. And I know that York is probably having a heck of a time with them. But I know that there is either a Gaida or a Fubuki out this way. I mean, I've got radio location telling me the nearest ship is in that direction. And if I were a sneaky DD player on the red team and I spawned on this side, I'd probably be, working my way behind these islands, hoping to get a shot on either a battleship or the enemy Lexington. So that's what I'm expecting that this DD captain is doing, and I am just moving to intercept, and I'm trying to stay out of harm's way as much as possible. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to decide, is Dunkirk going to get close enough? It's going to be really close, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the torpedo out there, and there's the Fubuki. And I'm just going to see if I can get some shells on him. I take a little bit of chip damage, but it's so far at least good trade, strongly in my favor in terms of the points of damage. Lost my lock on there just as I was pulling the trigger. Now, the fact that he didn't shoot at me again tells me with almost 100% certainty that there are going to be torpedoes from his ship coming this way. And they will be here probably in the next 5 seconds or so. And I'll just look and say, do my torpedoes have the range? Dunkirk was headed toward me just a hair, so it's going to be really close. And I do land one. You can hear the enemy torpedoes behind me. But I've positioned myself well, and I'm going to be able to just kind of duck behind these rocks and avoid them altogether. Now, I don't know that Fubuki is continuing to run away. What I do know is he's not moving, he's not moving with impunity north anymore. Now, our Leon captain, I'm guessing, is somewhat inexperienced. Now, throughout this match, Rocket and I have been talking. You know, I came this side, he went that side to help out. I threw those 2 torps, and then I realized our York, if he's a new player, he might just push straight at that Dunkirk, which might mean I would torp my own ship, which I really don't want. So I'm trying to get him to move in a different direction. And he seems very intent on closing the distance with the Dunkirk. So I'm a little concerned. That's why I'm zooming in like, am I going to hit my friendly ship? Oh, it's really close. Yeah, I don't know that he ever even paid any attention to the fact that I was pinging him, or you just never know. It's random matches, and that's what you get. You know, I know that there are people who could easily make the argument, and there's some validity to it, that I should never have thrown those torpedoes out there. But, yeah, what's done is done. Now, I'm watching our York, and I'm thinking, yeah, probably new, or maybe he's trying to get torpedoes on the Bismarck. But he's in a hopeless matchup against that Bismarck. And you can see his torpedoes there. And it's just probably a question of a few seconds until York just goes poof. And there it is. Now, our Lexington took down one of the enemy Bismarcks. And I'm looking at the radio location indicator, which tells me that right now the Bismarck is closer to me than the Fubuki that was off to my starboard side. So I know the Fubuki is probably at Delta 1, probably in that area. So I'm aware at this point that this is going to be a little bit of a hide and seek. I'm going to have to try and avoid, at least for the short term, being spotted by the Fubuki, so that my torpedoes that I've just thrown out there on the Bismarck have some chance of connecting. If a battleship in this situation, if you were playing the Bismarck and you saw a Shinonome where I'm at right now, you would immediately slam on the brakes or turn, or you would take evasive action against torpedoes on the assumption that the torpedoes were tracking your current position and speed and direction. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't seen, so I'm trying to keep this little island between myself and maybe where the Fubuki's going to be, and it pays off in big. Land 4 torpedoes and finish off that Bismarck. Now I have to be careful of the Pensacola, because although it is very squishy, it does have guns that can hurt me. So I'm going to be spotted by the Fubuki here any second, so I go ahead and I decide I'm going to put some shells on Pensacola to help our Leon, and I'm going to hope that Fubuki's going to try and use torpedoes rather than pushing out and getting guns on me. And let's see if I can help finish off the Pensacola, and then I can deal with the Fubuki. Okay, so I've managed to spot the Fubuki torps, and they were not, well, they might have been targeting me, but I think probably they were targeting the Leon, and we'll see the results here in a second. And our Leon doesn't seem to be taking any evasive action, or, again, maybe an inexperienced captain. And I'm not saying that to be mean or derogatory or to shame him in any way, or her. Okay, so there's the last set of torps, and I'm pretty sure I can just accelerate and outrun those. And I'm just going to throw out a wide spread of torpedoes, and now I'll get the guns working. And that's it for the Fubuki. Yeah, we all do it. I've done it before, but he just really misjudged where I was going to go and what I was going to do with my ship there. And having put out 2 of his 3 racks on that Leon, which paid off for him, he did not have enough torpedoes to really cover every possible angle that I might take. Okay, so let's look at the wider game. We're up by roughly 100 points. We are down 5 ships. The enemy team is down 6 ships. They are, I believe, beginning to try and push our cap. So the conversation that Rocket and I are having right now is, okay, so how do we best position against their likely push into the corner of the cap down there? Now we can see that they're already in the cap. I see those torpedoes probably probably need to stay more or less where I'm at, and on the heading that I'm at, and just plan on trying to reset the cap. Meanwhile, Rocket can try to really punish people with those guns. Now, Gorizia does not have torpedoes. We were talking about that, and Rocket reminded me, yeah, I don't have to worry about torpedoes from the Gorizia. So it's just the guns. And Gorizia has decided that he does not want any part of Rocket. And he manages to avoid the shells, but he puts himself on the beach. So I'm going to go ahead and throw torpedoes out here. And now I'm concerned about getting spotted. Now, Rocket decided he wanted to come stay closer to me. And I think our conversation at this point was me basically saying, oh no, because those planes are obviously coming for you, and they're probably going to spot me here any second. And I'm right here in the middle of planes and 2 Gorizias who can really do some damage with those guns if they decide to. So I don't really have much of a choice but to smoke up, and because I'm going to smoke up, I'm going to go ahead and get the guns working. Okay, so I was in smoke, and you saw what Gorizia just did to my hit points. So that you know that with 2 of them there, if I hadn't smoked up, you can imagine between the 2 of them and the planes how that would have gone for me. I was really hoping to be able to hang on to the smokes a little bit longer, but, you know, just didn't work out. So I've got torpedoes that are going to be back up in 5, 6 seconds, somewhere there, and I decide, okay, I got to get out of the smoke because I need eyes. Rocket's almost dead, so I'm just trying to put torpedoes out right now to create channels that the Gorizia is going to have to run through. And that's going to keep him able to use only his forward guns. So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, maybe I land one and he sinks. Yay, that's great. But now that I intended to be more of a kill shot. So I'm not sure which direction he went. He is smoked. Looks like he traveled to the left as we're looking at it. I've got enemy torpedo planes coming in. And it looks like my last set might make a straight. No, just keeping him in that channel, keeping his nose pointed toward Rocket so that he can't use those back guns. But I am now detected. He's close to me. He's going to try and finish off Rocket, I'm sure. I mean, you can see the Rocket's... He's healed up, but... Alright, so I got some torpedoes off. Really lucky there. He could have done so much more damage to me, and I'm trying to get around this island without getting blapped. I cut it a little too close, and I had to slow down so much. Now, it's my good fortune that he decided to use AP there, I think, and he slowed way down, which I don't understand. Now, maybe he expected I was going to throw torps way out ahead of him, but well, it worked out great for me that he thought whatever he thought, because I was able to land that torpedo and finish him off. And that gave me a Kraken. Now, I have not done that much damage, 74,000 damage, but given where my head was at the beginning of this game, oh no, there's a Lexington. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now, they did manage to drag Rocket down, but let's look at the minimap. Our Lexington is pretty safe where he's at. I mean, there's just no way about that. He really has nothing to worry about. The enemy CV is going to be kept quite busy with green ships that are much closer to him than having to worry about our Lexington, which frees our Lexington up to help finish off the enemy Colorado, which is what he's doing. He's got his planes out there right now working on that. And I'm way, way out of position. But I'm kind of wondering, where is that enemy CV? Now, if I were the enemy CV and I was just the last ship that was in the game, I would probably be thinking about, can I cap? Can I keep resetting our cap? And of course, the radio location is telling me that he's over on my starboard side. So what am I doing? And Rocket and I talked about this a little bit. I'm intentionally getting myself spotted, running south. And here in a second, I'm going to turn on the AA, which you saw there. But Here in a second, I'm going to be unspotted, and then I can change my course. But what I wanted to do is make it look like I'm running through that channel right there. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. But there's the Lexington. Massachusetts is working on an angle to be able to get guns on Lexington for sure. And I'm hoping I can close the gap. We've still got 4 minutes and 40 seconds. We've got a really big points lead, and he's the last ship on his team, but maybe this is kill number 6. A lot of it's going to depend upon Massachusetts, how quickly he gets guns on the enemy Lexington. There's not much chance that the enemy Lexington is going to sink our Massachusetts. I know our Massachusetts is low-ish on hit points, but I don't think Lexington is going to be able to finish him off. So I'm just going to go nose in. I'm expecting that Massachusetts is going to be getting guns on this Lexington any second. I'm going to get close enough to throw the torpedoes. Yeah, there are the shells. Throw the torpedoes with some chance. Oh yeah, that was a great shot. Some chance of hitting him, but I'm realizing that more than likely the Massachusetts is going to finish off this Lexington before my torpedoes can ever get there, but just on the off chance, I'm going to go ahead and throw them out there. And as soon as I get rid of the torpedoes, I'm going to go ahead and get the guns working. And of course, as soon as I throw the torps out there, he's already turning. That's in response to an enemy, to a strike from our CV.